Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on tonight's show, I'm pleased to have not one, not two, but three captains from the Ansonia Chargers, all of them seniors. We'll go left to right. We'll go to the D tackle and right tackle, Alex Romanowski. Alex, say hello.
What's up, guys?
And then David Cassetti, the running back, also middle linebacker as well. Say hello.
How's it going, guys?
And then the quarterback, and we'll play a little bit of safety, but mainly the quarterback, Christopher Kaminsky. Chris, say hello.
How's it going, guys?
Guys, it's great to be able to have you on the podcast. And I have not had too many Chargers on here. I know I had McKnight last year, so it's nice to be able to have a couple more, Chargers guys to be able to talk about the sport, the game of football, and, so on and so forth. I'll start with Romanowski first, just because he's the big guy and he's doing the ugly stuff as far as in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Alex, just going into last season, knowing that COVID, for all of you, you missed your sophomore years. How difficult was it early on to kind of getting the gears going again after that lost season?
It was really difficult because the conditioning, we weren't ready for the season, but we still ended up doing pretty good. So I feel like this year we're all conditioning, we're ready, and we're ready to go.
I'll go to David Cassetti here. Looking at kind of what was returning for the Ansonia Chargers, and it was a lot of youth. There was some older players like you guys, but as far as varsity experience, it wasn't there. And I know Alex kind of spoke about as far as kind of getting it going early on. Do you feel like the struggles, I know that there were just young mistakes. Do you feel like a lot of that was just because the reps were not there because of the lost season?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have a lot of experience on offense or defense. Personally, the last time I played a football game before last year was 14U for Ansonia Coppers. And that same with a few of you, right? Yeah, same with a few other players. And we did not have a lot of experience on both sides. I mean, we still knew each other. We got along. I mean, we tried to work hard in practice, do whatever we could, and listen to coach, our duties, and tried our best.
I'll go to Kaminsky here. And not even knowing as far as how long it was the last time that you stepped on a football field. Just talk to me about the mental aspect of it. And not saying that you doubted yourself. Was ever there moments kind of during practice or maybe leading up that there was maybe nervousness that, can I do this? Because let's be honest, Ansonia football, there's expectations. I think you guys know that. There's a lot that comes into when you put that Chargers uniform on. There's a lot of expectations. How did you handle that early on?
I mean, I wasn't really necessarily nervous. It was kind of just all right, it's a game day. You kind of just get the butterflies. It was more of excited because we went a year and a half without playing. I just wanted to get out there. I felt like our coaches prepared us enough, and I felt like we were ready to go because over quarantine and everything, we did following the guidelines and rules. We worked out as much as we could, but there was only so much we could do. But I think because of the coaches, I think they did prepare us as best as they could.
And I'll stay with Kaminsky here. Did you know early on, or maybe you didn't know, that you were going to be the QB1 for the Chargers heading into the season last year?
It wasn't verbally said by the coaches, but just by everything going on around me and just working with coaches, teammates. Yes, I did know.
I'll go to Cassetti here. The one thing I know about Ansonia is the defense always plays. Obviously, the offense does too. But when I think of Ansonia, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because I love defense, I think of how schematically you guys are able to just shut down the best player or confuse. I mean, the game last year, I remember against Seymour, Drezick was coming in hot and throwing all touchdowns. You guys were throwing him different things left and right, and you really confused him. Was that kind of stuff taught early in practice heading into the season, hey, this is what you need to do?
Yeah, especially this season, coaches always emphasize playing great defense and running the ball hard, trying to confuse opposing offenses, especially the great quarterbacks in MVL, Drezick, or we just try to throw anything at the other team, throw them off.
I'll go to Romanowski here because we're talking defense here. This guy to the left of me is a big dude. It takes a couple offensive linemen to be able to stop you, Romanowski. Do you ever kind of felt like during the season where you know what, I'm having a good game. I need to kind of take a game over and really disrupt and help the other guys.
Yeah, during games, like I talk to my teammates, like let's go, and I definitely think that during this season I'm gonna help out with the younger guys and stuff because we have younger players this season. Like my brother, he's a freshman, he's starting right next to me on defense, so I'm gonna help him out during the season and stuff. So yeah,
What's his name and what number is he?
he's Jacob Romanowski, and I think 63.
63?
Huh?
He's 63, you said?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll jot that down in my notes when I'm doing your game so I can make sure I know which Romanowski I'm talking about now that there's going to be two.
Yeah, no, now there's still, yeah.
Now I want to stay with you, Romanowski, as far as, and real quick, is your brother just as big as you?
He's like, yeah, he's 6'2". He's 6'2", like 250, 260. Yeah.
So it's going to take 4 offensive linemen to stop 2 of you.
Yeah. And our DNs are also massive. Well, a
Bigger
whole
than
front,
makeup, yeah.
over the whole DNs are like what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah,
6'3",
both
220.
6'3". Preston's 220, 210, 215.
Yes.
Tracy's 250. So.
It's the offensive line that we're facing to have difficulties.
Jeez, just talk about like depth and talk about girth as far as on the defense. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I'll stay with Romanowski here. What part of the season did you feel like you were starting to get comfortable as far as the game maybe not being sped up on you as much?
I think week 1 I was okay because the scrimmages we had, the Yale camp, I think that prepared us prepare me for like the season, like, what's it gonna look like and stuff.
I'll go to Cassetti here. Now, you being, you were everywhere as far as offense and defense last year, right?
Yeah. Yep. I played a little bit of tailback, but mostly fullback and outside linebacker and a little middle. But yeah.
Do you feel like being able to be around both sides of the ball, knowing as far as when you mentioned to me before about you and Chris being away from the game up until last year because of various things, COVID being one. Do you feel like having that responsibility, not to put pressure on you, but those reps, just being around, helped kind of remove the rustiness? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that kind of does make sense. I mean, I feel like whenever I'm on offense or defense, I can definitely help. I definitely help the team out. Being a captain, help others, and try to go 100% every play.
How was it? And I'll stay with Cassetti here. How was it being in Seam McKnight last year? Because he had a fantastic season. Obviously, what he was able to do, and the both of you kind of, I felt like, were the yin and yang. You kind of worked off of each other because what McKnight maybe couldn't do, or maybe would struggle a little bit at times, you were able to help out, and then vice versa.
Yeah, coming into the season, I don't really know Darrell. We definitely created a big bond, and like we trained this off season. He's going to Nichols College right now. But going into the season last year, we didn't really know each other, created a bond. We'd always like compete in practice and work for one another and, bust our ass.
I'll go to Kaminsky here. As the season started to progress, I mean, you guys were, and there were some close games, maybe some closer than a lot of people are used to, at least seeing. Did you feel like those close games kind of helped? Because if you're just winning blowouts, at some point it's like, second half, you got, the second guys, third guys coming in, and then you guys are chilling. You're not getting the reps. Do you feel like being in those close games, especially now looking into this season, will be a beneficial thing because now you've been through kind of the wears and tear of a season?
Definitely, yeah. Just because you can't make up game reps. Like you could practice as much as you want, you could watch as much film, but nothing really matters until the game actually happens. So having those in-game reps where you look at the guy next to you, like, all right, like this is what we have to do. Let's do this. Like Holy Cross, I think we were down at halftime.
Cross?
Yeah,
I think we're up.
I think we're up a touchdown at halftime, and then we all looked at each other like we're in a dogfight, so we have two choices: we can either back down or we can fight back. And we came back. And I think they had 15 yards in the second half.
I thought it was negative.
Less than negative. They had negative.
They I don't think they had a first down the whole second half. So it was good to look at the guy next to you and just be like, I got you, you got me. Let's go to war now.
You also kept Ligi to, I think, 3 carries in that second half too. He barely ran the ball.
Yes, sir.
And then also too, don't forget you had the bad on the kickoff. I think it was Holy Cross, who for whatever reason was able to get the ball inside your red zone, and
Yeah.
you guys held them flat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
so
a
that's
big
another
turning
thing
point,
too.
definitely.
What was that?
That was a huge turning point in that game. That really got us going.
Now, and I want to stay with Chris here. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a part, and my old partner who's now retired always spoke about the left side. If you're facing Charger Field, so the left side closest to where the other field is, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Practice.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that field, for whatever reason, that part of the field, when the opposing team is driving, seems like there's always a struggle. And you could never exactly point to why teams struggle. Do
Mhm.
you have any idea why? Is it like some juju? Is it the shadows? What is it exactly?
Honestly, I don't really have an answer for that one. I think just being in Ansonia and just knowing that it's time for football, I think that's what just gets other teams a little intimidated.
Yeah, I think some teams definitely do. And I think even before they step on the field, there's the intimidation factor. I do kind of feel that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now I'll go to Cassetti here. Coming into this season, I know obviously and we're not going to harp on the the Naugatuck game and such because it's been harped on enough. You guys were just telling me you're seeing it to this day. You saw it previously. We're not going to talk about it. But knowing how the season was, still was a successful season. You guys still made it to the semis. Do you feel like that maybe in some instances, the Naugatuck game and the Cromwell Portland game are those two games that you guys have not forgotten yet, and it's the motivation heading into this season?
I mean, you hit it on the spot. I mean, it's in the back of our mind all the time when we work hard. Like when we lift, starting in January to this day, still motivating us. Like when we step on that field, it's still in our mind. Like we're hungry. We're coming.
I'll go to Romanowski here. Same thing for you. I mean, as far as kind of what happened last year, I know you being on both sides of the ball, you were seeing it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, and obviously too, because Cassetti's on defense, those kind of games, particularly the Cromwell Portland game being the score it was, do you feel like that there almost in some way needs to be redemption as far as that was not the Chargers that people know. You're going to see that this season. What says you?
This season that we're gonna come out, we're gonna show everyone what just like what we're gonna do and stuff.
What Sony football's about.
Yeah, just what some of this football's about and stuff.
Now I'll go to Kaminsky here. What is Ansonia Charger football? What is that?
I think it's just hard nosed. We're gonna get in your face, and we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna do anything flashy, and we're just gonna play.
Old
We're gonna
school.
get our job done, and we're just gonna work together. We're gonna work hard, and we're gonna come out on top.
And you're going to run that hammer formation.
Oh yeah, we always got to hammer.
Many times.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You know what's great, and that's why I love doing Charger games, is because, and unless you surprise me and you pass the ball, then you kind of catch me off guard. But typically, it's always the hammer. But then every once in a while, you'll go into other formations, and I'm like, okay, what's Brockett doing here? And Cassette, I see you shaking your head here. You kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to spread the offense. If we see like
Mismatches. Right?
mismatches, yeah, on the defensive side of the ball, we'll throw like a that 5-yard hitch or whatever, spread the ball.
I'll go to Kaminsky here again. Now, obviously, last season, you did not have to throw the football a lot. And when you did have to throw the football, there were times where it was on and then other times not. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, reps, not playing a lot, and various things. And I'm sure you've been putting in the work. Do you feel like this season, if Brockett asked you or depended on you to maybe throwing the football a little bit more, do you think that you are capable of being able to do that in a sense of where it makes him comfortable?
100%. I think the coaches know, and I firmly believe that whatever the coaches ask me to do, I'll be ready for. Because, like I said, they prepare us for stuff. We've been working hard, and I think that I'll be ready to go out and execute.
I'll go to Cassetti here. You now being the bell cow, I just have to ask, knowing the running backs that have been a part of the Chargers, you think about McKnight, obviously Dobbs, where I'm waiting for another Dobbs to just show up, seriously, because I just felt like every year since I graduated, there was always somebody. And I graduated back in 2011 for Sacred Heart. Alex Thomas, who played at Yale back when I was in high school. Do you know that being a running back for the Chargers, being the bell cow, that is a very high. That's almost like being named the captain of the Yankees. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, growing up, I've watched almost every Arkell Newsome game. After that, Tajik Bagley, Tyler Bailey, Markel Dobbs. You know, I've watched them all. You know, I don't really watch like I've seen highlights on Alex Thomas, like Montreal Dobbs, like all greats, like Kenny Tinney. Just I've seen them all. I've seen them all. Like this is a really big role for me this year, and I think I'll be good.
I can tell. It seems like it's something that really kind of means a lot to you. That's what it seems like.
Yep.
Now I'll go to Alex here, Mr. Romanowski himself. Knowing as far as the reps and everything with the season, offense, defense wise, etc. So far with practice, I know last week was OTAs. What is the offense better than the defense right now? Right now, or is it vice versa? Where would you say who's ahead of one another right now?
I think the offense is good right now, and the
Mhm.
defense, because we're learning new defense right now. We're putting in new stuff and things. I think the offense is good because we're just running our plays, normal plays.
Defense is scary.
But our defense though is still scary.
It's Ansonia football.
Yeah, it's
100%.
still-
I was just about to say, Cassetti's in the background. Like, don't forget the defense is scary. Don't
Oh
forget.
yeah,
I think our defense is
defense is
really
definitely
gonna be.
still.
It's gonna be.
Our
Yeah.
defense, yeah. It's gonna be something to see. 100%.
And especially too, and I'll go to Kaminsky here. Do you feel like, because I've always believed, I keep talking about reps, and I apologize for that, but I just think it's so important. But to have the ability to go up against a defense like Ansonia as the team that you're, playing on, seeing that, I don't know if you're going to see that from a lot of teams who can do that in the NVL, and then especially in states. That has to help not just you, but the offense. What says you?
Oh yeah, 100%. When we're getting reps against kids the size of like Alex Romanowski, we got kids like my younger brother Preston and kids like Tracy Ray. When we're going against them every day, and it's good for the younger guys too, because the younger guys are getting work against kids twice their size or kids 3 years older than them. So it definitely helps out a ton because, like you said, in the game we might not play another Alex, like 2 or 3 Alex Romanowskis. So it definitely does help, and it gives us a better look.
I'll go to Cassetti here. Give me an offensive player who has really been showing up thus far. It could either be in practice this week, OTAs, weightlifting. If there's one, if you got to give a couple, I don't care. Who are they? Who should I be on the lookout for when I'm calling Charger games this season? You got to tell me.
I got to give it to my man Sean Richards, fullback, junior. He's been a workhorse, like in the weight room.
Numbers are
Crazy. He's been like going crazy at practice, dominating, hitting, like
Flying around.
number 32, fullback, Sean Richards.
And Romanowski, you said he's putting up numbers. Is he benching like cars or something? What's he doing?
About that. Just kidding.
Yeah,
But,
Like
yeah, and
270,
like 295 bench, crazy squat. How much did he squat?
425.
425. And like he's like he's like another Dave size kid.
Yeah.
A little bit thicker. But
Yeah, a little
like
more built.
stockier, but
Yeah.
And he fits the Ansonia kind of thing, a fullback who nobody talks about.
Definitely.
And then when you need him for, like State Farm, when you need him, he's going to get you that ton.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the type of kid where he's not gonna sit there and not play. Like if he's not touching the ball, he's still out there looking to hit someone.
Yeah.
He's still out there like, okay, where can I make a play? Where can I help the team win? And that's that's what we really like about Sean, because even if he's not touching the ball, he'll go a whole game and he'll just hit and he'll hit and he'll hit. And that's what we love about him, because that's what we need.
Now I'll go to Romanowski here on the defensive side. Who has kind of been showing up thus far in camp?
Makai Ingram,
Cornerback.
he's a corner, right?
Number 5.
Yeah, number 5. Makai Ingram. He's a fast little kid, but he'll hit. He'll surprise you.
Now, was he on the basketball team?
Yeah, he also was on the basketball team. Yeah.
I thought so, and that was another thing because again, I do NVO basketball as well. There was a lot of football guys on the basketball team. I don't know if you guys. I'm sure you guys knew that.
Oh yeah.
Like half the team.
It was more than
most-
that. I
yeah,
think
most
we
of
only
the
had like
team.
4 or 5 kids that didn't play football.
Yeah.
Our whole
Correct.
basketball team was basically a football team.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mentioned that on the broadcast. I said, I don't know if there's any basketball team that if there's ever sort of any disruption in the game, I don't know if you want to mess with Ansonia because half those guys, a majority, play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, half our old line sitting right there. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
They're huge, and I know I spoke about before. Janai, is he? And I'll go to Kaminsky here. Is there any opportunities of him offensively? Could we be seeing him maybe in the slot or maybe outside or something like that?
there will definitely be some Janai on offense. He's definitely gonna get in the game, 100%.
That's going to be really, again, long arms and just throw up a 50-50 ball and see what could happen.
And his like bounce, his jump,
He jumps to the gym. He's insane. Yeah.
See, I didn't see that during basketball. Was he like hiding that from people?
Colby.
Colby Cathedral. He had a couple good ones, but during the season, with like how we kind of like set up our offense during the basketball season, he doesn't get a lot of like good looks to actually like jump up and throw one down. But you'll definitely see it during the season. Like when he's on defense for football, you're gonna see him make a lot of plays where you're like, wow, like I don't know a lot of kids like in the state that can make that play.
Yeah, I think the only player I could think of that had really, the words you guys use, mad hops, is Anipoma, because Anipoma could leap out of
that kid can jump.
Yeah.
That kid can jump.
It was crazy. And I don't know, as far as special teams is concerned, Ansonia, again, knowing for defense and a lot of things, but also kicking and punting, I feel like is a very important aspect of the game. And Ansonia takes it, I feel like, very seriously. Cassetti, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, coming into this year, our kicker, Paul Palmer, he's also a wide receiver and defensive back. I mean, he'll nail an extra point or any 40 plus, 30 plus yard field goal. I mean, he's been consistent. He's been working hard, and special teams. Yeah, coach emphasizes that special teams is like really important and can really change a game, whether onside kick, returning, like one play could change the game.
Now I got to ask, because you guys say coach, do you ever call Brockett Brockett, coach? Which one is it?
It's Coach Brockett or Coach. Yeah. That's it.
You guys haven't gotten to that part yet. You can't say that.
Maybe when we graduate, maybe he'll let it slide. Now it's just Coach and Coach Brockett.
Now, when I've talked to him, he's always very cordial, very nice. But I feel like when he's practicing, I feel like it's extremely intense.
I mean, it's definitely intense. It's not so much like yelling and screaming. It's just he's more of he'll run you through it, and yeah, it's intense. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's how it has to be. So he's coached he has 6-8 championships.
Yeah.
And so he definitely knows what he's doing. He picks up the intensity when it needs to, but he also knows when to kind of like mellow down and actually like talk you out with it. So
your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's where the amount of wins. I mean, I think he's only a couple wins, or I don't know exactly how many wins, but I think he's second on the list for wins for Ansonia, correct?
I believe so. I think so.
Yeah.
Because he surpassed the guy who I'm pretty sure the field is named after, because I remember walking by the sign, walking to the field. So, but I have to go back and look at it. But anywho, real quick, guys, before I let you go, and I appreciate you coming on, I'll go left to right. I'll go to Alex, Cassetti, and then Kaminsky. Alex, real quick, this season, any goals that you set for yourself? And real quick, minus state championship, because everybody says that. So minus that. Selfish goals, I want selfish for all three of you. First, Alex.
I think just like getting everyone together, focused during practices, during games, and just being successful.
Cassetti?
Basically knowing your job, knowing what to do, coming in with a like killer mindset, disrupt, defense disrupt, offense, know your job and stay focused, poised, consistent.
Do you have any sort of touchdowns or yards that you want to get to this season, or just whatever the team needs?
I'm not worried about that. Whatever the team needs, that's all.
Good answer. Very good answer. Kaminsky, last one for you.
I think my goal is just going into every game knowing that I helped the team as best I could, put us in the best position to win, regardless if that's how many times I throw the ball, how many times I hand it off. I just want to go in every week knowing that, okay, I did my job to help us win and get closer and closer to the end goal, which is a state championship.
Guys, it was great to be able to have you on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Best of luck this season, and I'll be seeing you guys pretty soon as far as with the radio station because we will be around for Charger games. So, Romanowski, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cassetti and also Kaminsky as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you having us.
That wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm rejoining to find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.